friends, it's Paul Ward here, and welcome to On the Road. Well, maybe you performed in your high school musical, or maybe you did not have the opportunity and wish that you had. But our next guest is making sure that kids from all over our local Ventura County area have that opportunity. Marta Dewey with the Performance Theater for Young Artists. Welcome to On the Road.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we want to thank our sponsor, Opus Escrow. So, Marta, tell us, how did you start the PTYA, the Performance Theater for Young Artists?
Well, I was teaching music and theater at two private high schools and trying to get the kids motivated. I decided to put on a musical play because I've done that in my background, and it was such a big hit. And the parents were saying, "Oh, there's nothing like that around here." And back in those days, which was 1999, there really wasn't much. In Ventura County, especially Lower Ventura County, Oxnard, Camarillo, Ventura.
Mhm.
And so I thought, well, maybe I'll start a group, a theater group. And so I started it back then with some of my students that from school, and it just took off from there. And it's it was the only year-round youth theater group in the area, and I think it might still be. And
Wow.
so yeah, there's a few, but they're usually like in the summer or, periodically. So,
So this is
uh,
year round. Yours is year round. This is a year round
yes,
program.
yes, year round. And the kids audition, and then, so it's like a different group for each production, but a lot of them continue. So it's not continuous necessarily with the same group of students, but a lot of them keep on going. In fact, a lot of our students started out when they were younger kids or very inexperienced, and they go through high school until they graduate.
So is it
And
singing, dancing, theater,
acting,
acting?
yes, even technical theater, we have a mentoring program. And so some of our more experienced kids do help us with choreography and production assistance and that sort of thing too.
Multiple teachers?
Pardon?
You have multiple
So,
teachers?
oh yeah, we have, it's primarily run by volunteers. They aren't technically teachers per se, but assistant directors and choreographers, volunteers that come in to help with the nonprofit.
What are the age ranges of the students?
Anywhere from 6 years old to 19, usually. Yeah, so we get a large variety of ages, and most of the shows do have a variety of ages in them, so they all work together. Sometimes a show will maybe feature teenagers more than younger kids and vice versa, but a lot of the time it's a mixture. In fact, we just finished a production called Matilda the Musical, and
Hmm.
we had over 40 kids from ages, I believe the youngest was 7 through 18.
Oh wow. And how many months do
Yeah.
they practice that before they put on the put on the final show?
It's usually 6 to 8 weeks. So I think we had about almost 8 weeks for Matilda, but sometimes it's less. But they get it done.
Hmm. How do kids know? I guess it's just instinctive, but know that they want to be, maybe silly question, actors or singers or dancers. I mean, it's just probably innate.
Yeah, I think a lot of them come, they just want something to do, and then they want to continue. A lot of them. Some of them they are really interested in performing arts. And
Hmm.
so it's a place where they can come and develop their skills in all of those areas, singing, acting, dance, performance, live performance, or if they'd rather just focus on one or two, say dance
Hmm.
or singing, then they can do that too. And they just evolve and their skills grow. And some of them start off with really small roles and then they, gain confidence and they get larger roles. Or I've had kids come in and say, I don't want any speaking lines. They just want to be in the background because they're shy or nervous. And okay, that's fine. And then eventually, oh, okay, I want to roll now. I want to have some lines and so, they just really get into it and it's a lot of fun.
How many hours a week are they practicing?
I would say it's probably about 10 hours total. We have like three rehearsals a week, sometimes four. It's not a really grueling schedule,
Mhm.
but it's enough so we have like 3 or 4 hours. If it's a weeknight, it'd be 2 hours. So yeah. And then when it gets closer to the performance, a bit more, we have what they call Tech Week, where we have a lot of rehearsals getting everything ready for the show. And everybody works together, and it's very family oriented. It's like a little family. The
Mhm.
kids are very connected to each other, and it's a really great group of kids.
How many kids are in the program right now, or kind of typically throughout the year?
Normally, it's maybe between 30 and 35, 40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I said, right now we just finished a show that had, I believe it was 46, which is quite a large group. We just cast our next show, which is Shrek, the
Hmm.
musical. That one, I think we have about 32. So it's usually between, those numbers. And then every time we do another show, we recast and so it can fluctuate.
And then what about set design and costumes? Is that a whole other group of kids, or is that parent volunteers, or how does that work?
I have a lady, Julie Lantine, who does the costuming, and then we'll get parent volunteers and even some of the teen students helping with that. And so she designs all the, what the costumes will be. We have quite a large costume closet just from doing this for so many years.
Hmm.
So we reuse a lot of our costumes, or if we need something different, she'll make that happen. And so every show, it all, comes together with that. So she works hard on that.
Hmm.
And the same with set design. We'll put our set design together and then come up with what we need for that. We have a lot of props and set pieces as well. And anything we need, we'll revamp it or build it from scratch.
Interesting. You've been
Yeah.
doing this a long time, since 1999. Have you seen some of your students go on to, you know, the big screen?
Not the big screen, but I do have a former student named Juliana Zara. She started with PTYA, I believe, when she was 8 years old. This was many years ago, and she did it until she was 18. And she had a very operatic type voice, beautiful voice. And so she decided to pursue opera.
Wow.
And actually, one of my closest friends is a professional opera singer. So I hooked her up with her, and she's actually a pretty well-known and successful opera singer in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, in fact, she lives in Germany. And she actually came back last summer and once she said, I want to do something for PTYA and the kids. So we put on a showcase where she and another opera singer, a tenor, sang. And they didn't just sing opera, they sang some opera and then they also sang some musical theater and that sort of thing. But they also had the kids involved. And it was really great. And the kids loved it. And it also showed them, what's possible.
Absolutely. It's,
Yeah,
beyond our little world here. It's a whole magical
exactly.
world out there.
Yeah.
How many folks can fit in the theater to watch a show?
It's a pretty large room up there at Poinsettia Pavilion. I think you could have 200 in there. I think we set up about 140 to 150 chairs. And if we need more, we'll add more.
Hmm.
In fact, we sold out all four of our Matilda performances, so we had to add more chairs, and it was really full in there.
Are they doing two performances a day, or is it kind of over multiple weeks?
It's over 2 weekends, so one of the days has a matinee and an evening show, but the other ones basically have one show per day.
And you're doing Shrek now, right? Your next show is Shrek.
Yeah, yes, we just cast for Shrek. We just finished the casting, and those performances will be at the end of June. This one's a little shorter of a time period for rehearsal. Like I said, it does fluctuate, so it kind of depends on the availability of when we can use the stage and that. So this one we have a little less time. but we've done Shrek before, so we thought, okay, we can get this one done by then. So that's a very fun show.
And where do you get the choreography and the actual words? Is that something that you purchase or you create? How does that work?
Well, you for these popular musicals, you pay for the royalties from the publisher, the music publisher, and then they give you the music and the scripts. But and then they do give you choreography samples if you want to use them, but we usually don't use those. Our choreographers come up with it, and they really do a good job. And we have some older teenagers doing a lot of the choreography right now because they've been doing this for quite a few years with us, and they do an amazing job.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned kind of starting out young and then all the way through high school,
Yes.
and then kids kind of, grow up and they want bigger roles.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe there's some students you want to tell us about that kind of started shy and now have just kind of blossomed
Sure,
beyond
sure,
your,
yeah.
what you.
Well, sorry. Yeah. I one of the girls who's doing our choreography, she started when she was 8. And she's 18. She's just about to graduate from high school. And she's really blossomed into quite an amazing performer. She just had the lead at her high school. She has the lead in Shrek with us. And she also helps with the choreography. So she's basically grown up at PTYA and such a great girl, a very good role model for the other kids. Um, Another girl, she was very, very shy to the point where she would go back in the corner and just sit in the corner and kind of with her head down. And she would come up and do her scenes, but um, she found it difficult to interact with the other kids in that. And eventually, she also came out of her shell and she just played one of the featured roles in Matilda. And she's also about to graduate from high school. And I believe she started about maybe age 13.
Hmm.
So it's really helped so many kids battle shyness and insecurity and just a lot of things. So they not only learn performing arts skills, they also learn a lot of life skills, confidence, poise, working with a team,
Hmm.
and so many things that help them in life.
That's wonderful. And I
Yeah.
would imagine they take their skills that they learn to their own high school performances.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Get
So,
the
yeah.
maybe get the lead role over there as well.
Yeah. Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah.
So how does the organization get its funding?
Well, we fundraise and I mean, we raise all of our own funds. And of course, that's not easy. Funding for the
Mhm.
performing arts is very competitive. So we just keep working at it. We just had a big auction fundraiser and that helped. And, we apply for grants and take donations and that sort of thing. So we just keep it going and keep it. We've been able to manage that for the past 25 plus years.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
And
it's a
you're
lot of work, but it's worth it.
right. Your volunteers slash trainers, teachers, are they volunteers too? They're just passionate about what they do?
Yes, yes,
Wow, that's
volunteers,
really
and
good.
a lot of them start off also kind of like the kids. They don't have much experience, and then they learn and they get really involved in what they're doing, whether it's working on costuming or sets or helping with the kids.
I saw
So
I
yeah,
saw
it really runs on the volunteers.
yeah. I saw that the ticket prices are also pretty reasonable.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, most of our that's another thing with the funding we do charge a tuition and then the ticket sales really help out with keeping us going forward and then supplementing that with the donations and that sort of thing. So we try to not have it too expensive so that anyone can come and if they want to participate or they want to see the show, we make it possible for them. And we also offer a few scholarships too in case a participant wants to be involved, but they aren't able to pay the tuition so that
Mm.
anyone can be involved if they want to be.
Oh, that's wonderful. And are you trying to do one performance per quarter? Is that kind of what you shoot for?
That's what we shoot for, but sometimes I think this past year it's was 5 performances. We snuck in an extra one.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's the same this year too. And some of that has to do with funding too, just so we, have enough to going forward. So sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5 large performances. And then we also occasionally do variety shows, showcases. We also have a summer camp that we do in July.
Does that run for several weeks and all the kids come or most of the kids come?
Yes, yes. It's actually 2 weeks, Monday through Saturday, and then at the end of the 2 weeks we have a performance.
Okay. And are they honing their skills?
Yes, absolutely. Honing the skills and learning. They're learning by putting on a show. So that makes it more exciting rather than just classes. So
Right.
they're working towards a goal and then they get very excited for the performance. So they really work hard on the singing, acting, dancing, live performance, and that sort of thing. So it works really well doing it that way, developing their performing arts skills while working on a show.
Wonderful. What does the future have in store for the performance theater for young artists?
Well, we're, keeping it going and we're already planning our shows for next year. We've been up at Poinsettia Pavilion since 2005. So we're still there, and as long as we have funding and um, the means to do it, then we'll keep on doing it.
Wonderful. Well, Marta Dewey with the Performance Theater for Young Artists, thank you. Thank you so much for being our guest on the road.
Okay, well, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. We've loved learning about you and the organization. So thank you.
Thank you.